All right, part 2 for my courses, 520 and 540. So I'm going to go ahead and open 540 because I have not worked on that one yet. Okay. And let's see if we can get that one open. You will see what happens the first time you open a machine. So it gives me the certificate error, say yeah, hit OK. It asks me for the password. Remember, this is capital ANLY 540 for 540 and an exclamation point. It's 520 if you're in 520. All right, now this is the very first time that I've opened this machine, so it's going to ask me some Windows questions, and you'll see what it looks like when you need to install for the first time. I will tell you there will be some very boring parts of this video because there are points in which this is quite slow, and so there might be a kind of place for you to fast forward here in a minute. Here we go. It's going to ask me about my privacy settings. This is a virtual machine, so most people are not going to be connecting to it, so I'm just going to hit accept and leave it as is and kind of leave it as the basic setup. I don't know if I want the machine to be discoverable, so I'm just going to hit no. Okay. And then I am only going to use Microsoft Edge to download Firefox. So that's just my personal preference. You can download Chrome or Safari, maybe? Probably not. Either way, you can set up this computer just like you would like to use it for your doing your homework. And so for my class, what you're going to need is both R and Python. Okay. So once that bad boy gets downloaded, I'm going to install Firefox real quick. And it's thinking real hard. So mainly the first things I need to do is download R and RStudio. So we'll kind of let Firefox do some thinking here. Okay. Made the computer angry, I think. There it goes. It's going to open 8 windows, probably because I was impatient. There's Firefox. They were having a battle. Okay. So we want to download R. And I can't spell. So we want to use R362 for Windows or newer. Right? So we want to use one of the newest versions of R so that we're all on the same one. So I'm going to download R and install that. So run. And that should open the installation for R, which should have gone into downloads. Maybe it went into temp because I told it to just go. Okay. But the other thing I want to do is install RStudio. And I'm gonna, one day this will start. There it is. And then we'll do our basic installation, which involves clicking next the whole time, right? Okay. So then the next thing I'm going to do is download and install RStudio. Okay. I'm going to use the free version. Then we might be able to have a race on which one can get faster. Since this is going to take a few minutes to install, I'm just going to click next through everything here on RStudio. There's nothing fancy that you need to do, just install the base installation. And then once those are done, we will come back and talk a little bit more about how to install Python. All right, so now this is finally finished installing. I can close all this stuff out and just tell RStudio to start. Now I have the latest version of R362 as of January. I also have the latest version of RStudio, which is like 1.2.5. And now I can begin to work on my assignments and my work here. So I'm just gonna flip this because I like my console to be over here. Okay. Now to set up Python, what you wanna do is actually do it all through R. So the first thing I'm going to do is install the reticulate package. Okay. So I can do that through the little window or by typing install packages. But I can click on packages, install, and then reticulate. Okay. Newest version of reticulate, it's like 1.14. It's squashed a lot of bugs. And what will happen is it'll tell me, oh, you need R tools. So let's go download RTools. Okay. It'll actually probably fail with the installation. Okay. And it has a link right here on how to download RTools once it stops running. So it actually ran okay, but you will need this RTools thing before the day is over probably. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go install that. And we're only going to use the RTools 3.5. Don't use the experimental one just yet, unless you're just really brave. Because R4 is actually out as beta, but we're going to stick with one we know is stable. So we're using R3.6 and RTools 3.5. And hit OK. And then literally just hit next until it goes away. So I'm just going to need that before I start to compile packages, which is going to be really important for some of the stuff we're going to do later. So again, back to installing Python. I'm going to load the reticulate library. So library reticulate. Okay. And I'm going to spell library correctly. And so you'll want to type py config. So py underscore config, open and close parentheses, you hit enter. It's going to say no system installation of Python is found. Would you like to download and install Miniconda? The answer is yes, because this will put us all with the same type of Python. Miniconda is a small version of Anaconda and will allow us to kind of all work from the same base. Definitely tell it yes. Okay, we're still installing RTools back here. So over here, it will work on installing Miniconda, which comes with some of the most popular Python packages. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And so we'll be able to install Python packages as we go. But by installing Miniconda, it'll kind of be easier because we'll all have the same ones. One day this will install. It's running very slow today. It's having the afternoon I'm having, right? Which is very sleepy. So once this gets installed, you'll actually have 50% of the stuff set up. And then for the first assignment, you'll have also to work on PyCharm, but you will get some instructions on how to set up the machine. So we'll start installing the packages that you're going to need for the first lecture, etc. So for each week, I will give you a little kind of setup guide on things that you're going to need to install. Mostly these are going to be packages, but but it'll also give you some tips and tricks on things that are tricky. So for example, R Java is something we'll use at some point this semester, and it tends to have kind of a tricky installation. And so I'll give you a kind of a how-to guide on how to install R Java for that particular, on this machine. So I'm just going to let this keep running because it's thinking really hard, but that is how you will get your kind of basic setup started on installing R and Python. And then for the first week's assignment, I'll give you an example guide of things that you can type in to get your stuff installed. The good thing about this system is if you're having problems, I can log in as you and I can see what's going on with the machine to help you troubleshoot. Okay. That being said, the troubleshooting will only be for virtual machines. If you decide to use your own computer, that's awesome, but you will have to solve all of the installation problems yourself. Okay. So once this is done, I'm going to go through the same shutdown procedure that I did before, where I'd click start and then shut down. And I would come back over here and make sure that this says stopped, so I don't use all of my hours. Okay. And so be sure you stop it each time, and then check out Canvas for more information on how to set up for your first assignment.